How's it going, guys? And welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. I know I didn't record. I know I didn't upload anything Friday because at time, and I could finish. I uploaded Hitsone instead. But yeah, today we gotta continue Katawa Shoujo. I think I gotta record like 20 minutes or something. Okay, here we go. I shouldn't have gotten up so early today, I guess. You're chastiting yourself for doing something that other people should? Punctuality is a good thing, I think so anyway. It's a very busy morning today. The festival is coming up soon, and today is the deadline for the event registration, budget reports, and any other official paperwork. I could be that everyone is trying to complete the necessary forms at the last minute. Maybe that is why it's so quiet today. Hi! Misha pops into the room with Shizune, as if on cue, shouting out a loudness that makes Lilly visible flinch. Hi, Hichan! Hi. Look, it's the class representative. Hello! Lilly smiles, probably amused by Misha's or Shizune's use of the word look. Good morning. Of course you're not the representative of this class, right? Right? I'm not. Lilly seems a little more guarded in her answers to Shizune than she was with me the other day. I guess they really don't get along at all. Then I realized that Lilly might actually not know Shizune is present, and she's trying to detect whether or not she is, to know who she is talking to. For all she knows, she's talking to Misha. But knowing that she and Shizune are practically inseparable, she might expect Shizune being the one that actually talks. Damn, how complicated. I decided to help Lilly out, for my own peace of mind more than anything else. You're here early, Shizune. You were here even earlier than us. Misha puffs out her cheeks angrily. Why is she getting angry? Does she feel emotions on Shizune's behalf too? It's not that weird though, that Shizune didn't like my little comment. It's true, I was here earlier than them. So me saying something like that could definitely be misinterpreted as anything. You know the word! How I can read it, but it's so hard to get it out, you know? Especially to Shizune, who doesn't have a benefit of hearing tone engage in tech. Before I can start weighing whether or not I should apologize, Shizune has already moved on. Class rep, it's a good thing you're here. We have to talk. The festival is coming up in 3 days, right? Every other class has already handed in their project budget reports for their events. Even the first years, except you. Wahaha! There is still time to hand it in, isn't there? Oh. Today! The deadline is today! You're certainly taking your time, aren't you? If I had it my way, I'd had all the necessary paperwork days ago. But someone had to say the deadline, please extend it. Yes, that was me. Planning something on this scale is not a small task, and a week is too small a time frame to expect a whole class to work out such a complex issue completely. Do you want to know what's harder than distributing the funds for one class event? Handling the same matter for every class in the school and then some. The one who does that is me. Misha puts her hands on her hips and stands up straight. Wow, she's really getting into the role. It doesn't look like she's very amused though. Hey, Shizune, aren't you being a little too hard on her? There's still a whole day left. Please, Hisao. It's alright. Lilly seems happy I'm taking her aside, but a bit conflicted that I might not think she can take care of herself. If this is about the budget, then I'm disappointed you think I have forgotten about it. I understand how important it is. Then, can I have it, please? She might not have it on her at this exact second. It's not here right now. I asked 2 students to take care of it for me, students from my class. She emphasizes the last sentence, much to my surprise. She knows about Shizune and Misha's effort to rope me into the student council. I guess word must have gotten around, so now she's using me as ammo against Shizune. This just gets better and better. Angry face. It was your responsibility. A budget report isn't something you should just be Delegating away as class rep, it's your job to be on top of things. This kind of disregard of proper procedure is really just terrible. They completed it, being capable of doing so, but the students have been sick recently, so they could not come to school and give it back to me. If you want, I will apologize on their behalf for getting sick. Okay. Although Misha misses Lily's little jab entirely, Shizune doesn't. And she seems torn between being offended by Lily's daring and jumping for joy at the prospect of a challenge. Lily, don't they live here at the school? That's a 5-minute walk, you know. What could they possibly have that prevents them from taking 5 minutes out of their busy lives to drop off something that will affect the enjoyment of their entire class? Lily opens her mouth to say something, but Shizune closes the gap between them and starts signing furiously, waving her hands around like an orchestra conductor. Misha tries her best to convey the same passion, but can't seem to lose her normal cheerful tone. The result is interesting and somewhat surreal. And what's with that attitude? I said that it's not something you should be delegating away. Are you the class representative or aren't you? Tell me the names of those 2 students. They should have your job if you can't even handle something this simple yourself. One form isn't a full extent of what I'm supposed to take care of. Lily's tone is growing slightly impatient, but she's doing a good job of not letting Shizune see how unsettling she's becoming. She's playing her cards close to her chest. Shizune, on the other hand, wraps her finger cheerfully along the edge of her glasses, knowing Lily can neither hear nor see how excited she is. Of course, you do so much, class rep. It must be so difficult being you. Lily tightens her lips at Misha's words, clearly understanding the intent behind them, even though Misha delivers them without a hint, without even a hint of sarcasm which they were meant to have. Shizune and Lily don't like each other, that much is clear, but this seems a little much. It seems like Lily has had enough and is ready to push back. I was actually just discussing the budget report before you came by. You must be very talented to have finished all your student council duties so quickly that you can track me down to make sure I don't forget my own. Are you accusing me of slacking off? It seems like you're confusing me with yourself. I don't think so. That would be a very difficult thing for me to do, comparing myself to you. Oh, there's a fight here. You're right. The difference between us is like heaven and hell. And it's not hard to guess which one you might represent. The air between them ripples with the heat of their enmity. Well, not really. They can't disguise it anymore. Though even Misha looks like she's beginning to understand the real nature of this conversation. Hit-chan? Don't you slack off either. What are you talking about? Aren't you taking part of the festival, Hit-chan? You are, aren't you? Then, I hope you're going to do a lot more to make sure it goes smoothly than this person. I don't understand why Shizune is suddenly getting mad at me. Save, because there's an option here. Create new file. Save state. Yeah! Huh. Here's a good question here. Don't drag me into this. I've done my part. Or hey, come on, cut me and Lily some slack. These ultimate choices here. Don't drag me into this. It's like I don't want to be in their problems or fighting, which seems me like which makes me seem like I'm like, like it says, don't drag me into it. I don't want to be part of it. Which could seem like a bad thing to say. But here, cut me some slack. It's like I'm taking Lily's side and like, hey, get back off. Like, I don't know. Will it put me on bad terms on these two if I take the one here? Or does it, like before he said, that I don't believe that Lily can do it? Is it one of those where I have to like backtrack or something? I'll check the first one. Hey, I'm the new guy, remember? It's not like I could have done much even if I wanted. That's right. You shouldn't expect a transfer student to jump right into this on his first week. Lily taking my side feels oddly comforting, so I decide to back her up too. Yeah, you're being unreasonable with both of us both. Excuses, excuses. Miss Class Rep has plenty of time to deal with her report. And we repeatedly offer you the position to help with the student council work, but you refuse to commit yourself to making the festival a success. Yeah, but as I said back then, I'm not sure if I don't have time for this right now. No matter what I do, it will mean being drawn into a confrontation with Shizune, and that is what she wants. Forget it. I turn my back at them. Lily, class is going to be starting soon, so we can talk more later. I'll tell Hanako you were looking for her. I can feel Shizune freezing. Maybe this is the first time she has ever been ignored in such a blunt manner. Thank you, Hisao. I'll leave now. I'll leave then. She gives me the sweetest smile I've seen all week and turns to her heels to make her exit. Aww. Aww. As soon as Lily walks out of the door, I suddenly start feeling reluctant about turning to face Shizune. I can feel her eyes burning into my back. I can't bring myself to look at her. She must be furious. I keep expecting Misha to say something to alleviate the tension, but it really is wanting too much. In the end, I go back to my seat and listen to the sound of Shizune's footsteps as she marches out of the room. She doesn't return until a few minutes before class. Blah 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 blah. I'm having a bit hard time pronouncing words. Hanako doesn't come to the morning class at all, leaving her seat looking empty and lonely in the back of the classroom. I have to tell her that Lily was looking for her if I see her later. After the events of this morning, class is pretty boring in comparison. I turn the pages of my textbook lazily. I have a bit of catching up to do despite trying to keep up with my studies at the hospital, but I'm not feeling that enthusiastic about it. The clock at the front of the room sounds unbearably loud. The teacher hasn't said anything in over 7 minutes. Instead, opting to cover the board in rows and rows of equations taken directly from the book. The rhythmic clashing of chalk on blackboard seems to synchronize perfectly with the ticking of the clock. I start to copy down the equation just to pass the time, even though they are right there in the textbook. When the bell rings, I'm not in a hurry because I have nothing to do, so I stay for a while, reviewing what we covered in class today. I prefer to leave last anyway, so I don't have to deal with crowding in the hallways. I noticed Shizune and Misha also stayed behind, talking to someone from another class. Shizune is signing so fast that her hands make noises like swords cutting through the air. Maybe there's pent up anger in there. Misha is trying desperately to keep up, but it's clear she can barely manage to even understand her. I put my head down. Whatever they're discussing, it looks like serious business. Shizune signs to the point where her wrists crackle, and Misha struggles to spit it out in form. Sometimes she trips over herself like she's dealing with tongue twisters, and then on top of that, she has to sign back anything to the other girl says. Seems like a rough job. Misha looks tired, like she's about to faint. Luckily for her, their business is soon finished and the girls sit down on their seats again. I'm so tired. She's banging her head limply on her desk, looking exhausted. I'll use the opportunity to reconcile with Shizune a bit, without getting roped into the student council thing again. Though I suspect the door is now closed for me. Festival preparation must be tough for you. Indeed, the people in this school seem to be taking the festival very seriously. Whenever I see people idling around before and after classes, they're always talking about their plans for it. It's kind of a neat to see everyone being so enthusiastic about it. I'm probably the only one who doesn't have something to do. Shizune scoffs me at first as I'm trying to decide whether to ignore or sneer at me, but in the end she starts signing without doing either. Misha perks up, looking at her hands with slightly unfocused eyes. She signs with harsh, heavy, dramatic strokes. Misha translates her signing into speech for me. She does it so well it's almost like Shizune is actually speaking, transmitting her thoughts directly through Misha. She must have practiced it vigorously. Well, of course we're in the student council. You know, we're pretty busy. It's an important duty of ours to ensure the success of the festival with all our strength. We could shame ourselves in front of the past student council generation if the festival were to fail. That's why we must That's why there must be no flaws, no, I think there was income branches. No, nothing that might make the festival short or perfect. Shizune's passionate speech and Michi's enacting are really oddly fitting for them. Hello? I look over my shoulder and see Hanako peering timidly into the classroom, most of her body hidden behind the door. Hey! Playing delinquent again? Hanako blushes hard at Misha's straightforward jab, even if it was only in jest. Shizune stares at her probingly, causing Hanako to look down and start backing away to the point where only her fingers can be seen wrapped nervously around the edge of the door. Maybe she is showing her dislike of Hanako by associating her dislike of Lilly. It appears so, and Hanako probably knows of it as well. What is it, Hanako? Has Lilly been here? Sorry, haven't seen Sato. She came by in the morning though. Hanako keeps looking uneasily at Shizune, who stares back at her with her usual studying gaze. What is she trying to do? Of course, Shizune isn't going to look away, and she is intimidating enough as it is, so I can only imagine how terrified Hanako would be. It's a little uncomfortable watching Hanako's reaction to Shizune's normal behavior. This is what happens when two people of two different extremes meet, it seems. Do you know where she is? If she has any sense in her head, she's in her classroom, working on their festival project. But who knows where that woman is loitering at? You need to find her? She was looking for you in the morning, but I guess you have missed each other. She waits a little without answering the simple question, looking awfully like she's not sure if it's proper to answer such a question. Yeah, I can come with you, if it's okay. Hanako nods fractionally. Still on guard, her shoulders stiff like wood, I get the feeling that she might be more comfortable by herself after all, but it's too late to back off now. She has this really troubled expression she seems to wear almost constantly, one that makes me constantly be on guard myself. I wonder why. I cannot understand why she always seems to be so wary, or maybe more like why there could be a person like her. But I still have no idea how I should act around such a person. It's dinner time soon. Were you planning to eat with Lilly? She nods slightly. She must have been trying to get into cafeteria. Well, there's something of a dinner crowd, just like a cafeteria is crowding during lunch. It's not as bad because dinner time is longer than lunch hour, but I can understand why Hanako could be discouraged from going in. I pick up my bag and we take our leave. Hanako skips a little to meet my initial pace, so I slow down to match her speed. That painting there. It doesn't take long for us to be walking at a comfortable pace down the hallway. It almost feels like we're going for a stroll together. Something that I can't say I've really done before with a girl. Hanako doesn't seem to be thinking the same thing though. Even though we are walking at the same pace, she never comes within arm's reach of me. I guess she's still a little uncomfortable around me. Given how shy she is, there doesn't seem to be much helping it, at least for now. By the time we arrive at the cafeteria, there are not much of a crowd here, but Lilly is nowhere to be seen. Hanako's head sinks even lower than usual. Like this? Okay. There's Lilly here. Ah! What is it doing? Have you looked somewhere else already? Just the library. I was reading. So she does spend the classes she skips at the library. Ah, so not exactly a thorough search then. Well, if I had to guess, she'd be in her own class like Shizune said, right? Right. With the slightest of nods, Hanako agrees with my reasoning. God, she's being so awkward. It's like I need double-layered silk gloves with padding to even begin interacting with her. Some small talk might help her become a little bit more used to me. It isn't hard to tell that the silence between us is hovering on the edge of both our minds. So, you and Lilly usually hang out together after class, right? Yes. I'm not quite sure what I expected from her answer, nor why I even asked the question. That much was rather obvious, after all. She doesn't seem like the type to cultivate with social circle. Either so, I suspect that Lilly may well be her only friend. Must be a pain being in different classes, I'm guessing. She gives a sharp, almost reflexive nod. Compared to Lilly's careful thought about her actions and speech, Hanako hastened to make her answers as prompt and short as possible. Lilly comes by the classroom, though, even when she's busy. She gives a smile as she says it, evidently appreciating the fact that Lilly goes out of her way to help her. It's pretty cute, really. There isn't any need to say more. Both of us content that the discussion reached an end. As we ascend the stairs back to the lobby, we are met by a group of students heading downstairs like a school of fish moving from one feeding area to another. They seem to be keeping mostly to themselves, but before I can notice her doing so, Hanako has moved around behind me. Hey, are you alright? Just keep going. The student passes us without as much as a second glance. As Hanako takes up position to my side again as we enter the building, her momentary reprieve from her anxiety all but snatched away. Even as she climbed towards the third floor, she doesn't seem to relax. It isn't as if we've never known a shy person before, or even shy girls, but Hanako seems to be pretty far beyond what I'd call normal in her fear of other people. If it weren't for Lilly acting as a mediator, I doubt Hanako would have been able to walk beside me like this. She seems to be completely shut down in the presence of others. The rest of the walk up to Lilly's classroom continues in strange silence, while I rue her inability to socialize at all. After we make our way up the stairs, the noise coming from Lilly's classroom is audible from halfway down to the hallway. I wasn't expecting such a din at all. Well, I guess we found her. This wasn't hard. Did Hanako come here first, then come to me for backup, I wonder? Well, if that's true, then at least she's starting to trust me a little. That can only be a good thing. Eventually, the two of us reached the door to class 3-2. With Hanako less than subtly positioning herself behind me, I opened the door. Inside is a hive of activity. Seemingly every student in the class talking at once as they work hurriedly on their separate tasks. Going by the paint cans, decoration, and banners being made, it must be for the upcoming school festival. I guess my first priority should be finding Lilly. There! That was quick. Finding her among the din is surprisingly easy, not the least because of her looks. With a couple of students scattered around her as she stands in front of this class, she seems to be in charge of the preparations, or at least busy organizing them. Carefully negotiating a path through the various students hunched over the floor for lack of desk space, I raise a hand entirely out of habit as we finally reach Lilly. Hi, Lilly! She perks her head up as she breaks off talking to a noticeably smaller girl who must be her classmate, trying to listen as best she can. Sorry, who? Sorry, Hisao. I have Hanako too. Hi. She's pretty skittish, considering the number of people around. It isn't too hard to work out why. Lilly takes a moment to pause to assess the situation before turning to the other students once again. For the moment, just ask Maria for his advice. Kenji is busy with painting one of the banners already. A quick nod and she bounces off, fingers carefully sliding along the wall's face for orientation. Wait, Kenji? Yeah, I was thinking that! I quickly turn about, leaning to the side to see past Hanako. Sure enough, in the corner of the room, Kenji's hunched over a sheet of cloth as he paints it. His eyes remain only inches from the brush, reminding me of how close he had to be to make out my face when I met him. Sorry about that. Our class doesn't have many students with even partial eyesight, so they are in high demand. That's right, class 3-2 was specially for students with poor vision. Preparing for the festival must be pretty arduous for them. Need a hand? I can give you a help if you need some. Maybe Hanako could too. A chance to set her mind on something would do her good, but I doubt she has the courage to ask outright. She quickly nods in affirmation afterwards, so I'm confident I made the right move. Lilly gives out a noticeable sigh of relief. Ah, that's good. This must actually get finished before everyone goes off to dinner now. Would you be able to help the person painting the main banner? It's a big task for him to do, but nobody else can help. Kenji? Sure. She seemed surprised that I know him. I can't really blame her. I take it you've met? Our rooms in the dorm are right next to each other. Hard to miss each other, really. Well, it's good to see you're getting friends so fast. Friend? I wonder if that's the right word to use for it. Hanako's silence during the proceeding reminds me of the reason I put her up to the helping in the first place. We'll go help him then. He knows what he's doing, right? That's right, just ask if you have any problems. Chorusing in assent, Hanako and I begin another trek across the classroom. Kenji sits crouched on the floor, his gaze fixed on the white calico in front of him. Hey Kenji! No answer. He continues dragging his pants-soaked... It's right there. On the large half-painted kanji that's sketched on the sheet of pencil. Kenji? Huh? What? Who is it? If this is the way he treats class members, it's no small wonder he's working on this alone. It's me. He's there for the... Right, I know that, man. What are you doing here, though? His dismissive attitude annoys me. He must be the type to really get focused on his work, hating to be disturbed by anyone until he's done, I suppose. While we talk, the sound of Hinako's footsteps as she walks out from behind me reminds me that she's there. That she's here. I was just going to help with the banner. Hanako and I, that is. Hello? Oh, hey! I guess that's okay. As soon as Hanako enters the equation, his demeanor takes a complete about-face. His sudden faux hospitality is slightly unsettling. Oh right, woman. On second thoughts, this may not have been a great idea after all. Hanako... I'm gonna end it here, guys. Sorry. I know, it's exciting. I'm really into this game for some reason. It's a good story. So I'm gonna leave you here with a high five, as usual. Bam! Oh, there's always one in the family that wants.
No, I have to warn Asbel.
You there! What are you doing?
Dancing! I'm dancing!